She took the photograph that unlocked the secret of life itself. But while 3 men received the Nobel Prize for discovering DNA's structure, Rosalind Franklin's name was erased from history, her data stolen, her contributions dismissed, and her legacy buried. This is the story of the greatest scientific theft of the 20th century. Photo 51, the image that changed everything. May 1952. Rosalind Franklin, a brilliant British chemist at King's College London, captured an image that would revolutionize biology. It was an X-ray diffraction image labeled Photo 51. To the untrained eye, it looked like a blurry black X, but to a crystallographer like Franklin, it was the smoking gun. That X shape proved undeniably that DNA had a helical structure, and the spacing of the bands revealed the precise measurements of the molecule. She held the key to life in her hands. The betrayal. Franklin was cautious. She wanted to verify her calculations before publishing, but she had a colleague, Maurice Wilkins, who mistook her caution for incompetence. They clashed constantly. Without Franklin's permission or knowledge, Wilkins took Photo 51 out of her files and showed it to a rival scientist visiting from Cambridge, James Watson. The aha moment. Watson later admitted that the moment he saw Photo 51, "My mouth fell open and my pulse began to race." He immediately understood what he was looking at. The data he and Francis Crick had been missing: the pH of the helix. The number of strands was right there in Franklin's stolen image. They rushed back to Cambridge and built their famous double helix model, relying heavily on Franklin's precise measurements to make the pieces fit. The Nobel Prize and the silence. In 1953, Watson and Crick published their breakthrough paper in Nature. They barely acknowledged Franklin, burying her contribution in a footnote that implied she had merely confirmed their ideas, rather than providing the data that built them. In 1962, Watson, Crick, and Wilkins were awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine. Rosalind Franklin was not on the stage. The tragic irony. Why wasn't she there? Tragically, Franklin had died 4 years earlier in 1958 of ovarian cancer, likely caused by the very X-ray radiation she used to discover DNA. She was only 37. The Nobel rules forbid posthumous awards, but the insult went deeper. In his memoir The Double Helix, Watson caricatured her as Rosie, a difficult, unappealing assistant who guarded her data like a dragon. He attacked her appearance and personality to minimize her brilliance. The legacy restored. It took decades for the truth to come out. Today, we know that Rosalind Franklin wasn't an assistant, she was a lead researcher. Her work didn't just support the discovery, it was the discovery. The data was hers. The photograph was hers. The map was hers. History is finally correcting the record. Rosalind Franklin is now recognized as the Dark Lady of DNA, the brilliant scientist whose work unlocked the code of life, even if the men who used it tried to write her out of the story. Subscribe to Time Unlocked for more stories of forgotten pioneers. What does Franklin's story teach us about who gets remembered and who gets erased from history?